In 2015, scientist Lida Xing came across a beautiful and curious piece at an amber in Myanmar. Trapped inside the yellow piece was a feather that others had overlooked as belonging to a plant. But Xing knew that it could be something more. And it was a piece of 99-million-year-old history, a dinosaur feather. 99 million years ago, a small nib of dinosaur tail was dipped in resin, the honey-thick liquid that plants ooze to defend against insects. Perhaps the little dinosaur died before resin enveloped its teeny extremity. If so, it was a fortuitous death for paleontologists, allowing the tail to stay in place long enough for the resin to harden into amber. This amber held 8 vertebral segments as well as soft tissues. Beneath the feathers were X-ray images revealed that no ancient bird grew this tail. The tail tip belonged to a 2-legged dinosaur called a theropod. We can tell that this specimen came from a theropod dinosaur because the tail is flexible and the vertebrae articulate with each other, instead of being fused together to form a solid rod, which is a characteristic of modern birds and their closest relatives. This is the first time we're seeing dinosaur material preserved in amber, where we know for sure that we are dealing with dinosaur as opposed to bird material, because we have got the skeletal material there, not just the feathers. It's believed they began to develop feathers in the Jurassic period, between 200 and 144 million years ago. Dinosaurs began living side by side with birds in the Cretaceous period, where this specimen is believed to have originated. Using CT scanning and microscopes, the researchers ascertained that the feathers belonged to dinosaur with a tail that was chestnut brown at the upper surface and pale or white on the underside. It is the first time that researchers have been able to glean color out of a feather. Coelurosaurs included the famous giants like Tyrannosaurus, but these theropods were a diverse bunch. The remains captured in amber were tiny at just 1.4 inches. The preserved tail segment was as long as a watch face is wide. If we extrapolate total body size from this, the whole animal would have been about the size of a sparrow. Examining the tail with microscope and CT scanner, the scientists could observe how dino feathers were arranged on the body and make out tiny, 3D structures. It also gave the paleontologists a sense of feather pigments, plus larger scale color patterns. We can see general color patterns in the tail. These consist of pale or white feathers on the underside of the tail, and chestnut brown feathers on top of the tail. This coloration, however, comes with a 99-million-year-old caveat. The resin may have altered the feather's iridescence, or changed its chemistry to knock out certain colors. The feathers as fairly similar to modern bird feathers. That is, they were shaped like the feathers on modern birds' bellies and heads, which protect their insulative layers. The fossil feathers were not quite like flight feathers. Flexible and fuzzy, they did not have a strong central shaft. The dinosaur plumage suggested that, on an evolutionary scale, the side branches of feathers developed before this main shaft.